Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Veteran, first responder, or a patriot looking for a place to put your skill set, your thoughts, and/or want to help continue the mission? You have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we want to put the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to Playtime. We got your 6 at 6. Now here's your host, Shad Turner of Veterans Unite Podcast and the People's Patriot Project. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of We Got Your 6 at 6. I'm Chad Turner from Veterans Unite Podcast, and as always, we've got Mark Peterson and Andrea Eichmann from the People's Patriot Project joining us, and we've also got a couple special guests. But before we can get to them, we've got to start the show off right, and that means that we need to start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. So if you're wearing a hat, please take it off. If you can stand, please do, and get ready to say the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Man, how are you guys doing?
We are phenomenal. We are phenomenal. I'm sitting here chuckling a little bit about some of the feeds we have coming in. I know it's going to be really hard, but I do want to share with the rest of the world. We had some people share some major news stories with us and have shared how terribly and how it's out of control this is. But Snowmageddon has hit Georgia, and there it is, live from Centennial Olympic Park. There's your snow falling and destroying everything as we speak.
Man,
seek shelter.
Apocalyptic, honestly, seriously.
I can't see anything. Where's the snow?
Seek shelter. Bring your pets and your husbands in. You may not survive another day.
Grab your toilet paper. Pour the bread.
That is straight up for our buddy Adam Jones down there, he's being a little whiny. I'm just going to say he's being a little whiny. Danielle Rocco in the house, giving a quick shout out to her good friend and podcast co-host, Travis Partington, who has joined us tonight with Oscar Mike Radio. So excited. You getting comfy, Shad?
I'm trying to, because I feel like like I've been beat with a wiffle ball bat. Someone went all BC Boys on me.
For some of for some of us, that's a good time. So I guess we'll just have to move on from that piece, and we hope you start feeling better. We do have one of our mysterious Facebook users out there. If you're coming up as a Facebook user, if you could just give us a quick, hey, it's me. We'll give you the shout outs you deserve. Might be have a couple of them here, but giving a shout out to Danielle as well. Danielle's upstaging us and still in our show, and she's not even on the show. Well, that's the way it happens, man. I mean, it's our show is known as Beauty and the Beast. You can decide who that is and where that fits, and we know who the Beauty and the Beast is with Oscar Mike Radio and Danielle. You're good on the eyes, Travis. You're good on the eyes. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, flattery gets you everywhere, Mark.
So we have Oscar. Well, I keep saying Oscar Mike, but it's Travis Partington on tonight, and we'll get to Andrea here real quick here in a second about what's going on in the world. But my big question, Travis, before we get into your amazing mission and sultry voice and a voice over the network, where does Oscar Mike Radio come from?
So it was the product of a lot of pain and suffering. In 2014, my life was in a bad place. I was in the valley for certain, and I wanted a way to get out of it. And I was a member of, or I am still a member. I'm a life member of the Marine Corps League, and we would do these funerals for veterans. And some of them were ones that had joined the 22. And when you go there and do one of these funerals and you do our ritual and you embrace a parent who's lost that child through this, it kind of puts things in perspective. And one of the things that kept being said to me was, that person didn't have any hope. No one reached out to him. And so I was doing some guest hosting at WVBF in Taunton, Mass, on an AM radio station, and was like, maybe I could do a radio show and try to, reach my fellow veterans. And, that didn't quite work out, but podcasting did. So in 2016, I launched Oscar Mike Radio. Oscar Mike is, we're on the move for our veterans, for those who are serving right now, is a way to just impact one person's life. I'll say this right now. If the last time I hit record, I just want to know that I impacted one person's life in a positive way so they can keep in the fight.
That's so, and again, the not everyone in our show knows the phonetical alphabet of the military. Oscar Mike is OM, and you did say it kind of in your on the move. We're on the move, getting stuff done, moving forward, getting it done. No, we're excited to have you here, Travis. There's so much that goes into this story and where we've been and come from, and we'll get to that. Andrea.
Yes, sir.
Deep in the halls of Montezuma, what is in the news?
You know what? I actually went on a little search. We focus on military and first responders here. And so we have a lot of military celebrations and holidays coming up starting in February. And so I thought I would, this is military and first responder related because, of course, in most of these, our National Guard is enacted and sometimes even more than that. But I guess maybe your little snowstorm story got my brain rolling. And so I came across an article that kind of summed it up. So in this moment, of course, down there in Georgia, probably the police, firefighters, and paramedics are all out there helping people make sense of the dusting of snow that has struck the snowmageddon. But in all seriousness, we all stay safe inside, mostly when the police, the firefighters, and the paramedics risk their lives to protect ours. National Guard, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force, all of that. They're always looking out for us. I twitched. I'm sorry. I think I twitched on that one. I twitched because I am not familiar enough with all of that information. I know. So, okay. So in police stations, firehouses, and ambulances and 911 dispatch centers across the nation, first responders are working to respond to the needs of their communities and keep themselves and their families safe from a deadly disease, because we've had 9/11, 21 and a half years ago, Katrina, we had anthrax, we had terrorist threats from within and without, the wildfires, the floods. And in 2020 alone, EMTs and paramedics uploaded 44 million patient care records from 911 calls. So when we talk about this new, it's not new. My God, are we sick of it yet? This deadly disease out here, it has an ugly name too. Some letters just tossed together. I don't want to give it any credit because I don't want it hanging around my place. But, think about the role that we've got our National Guard dressed to the hilt dispersing shots. We've got, Minnesota, shoot, we could talk about what our National Guard has been doing for us recently in the last year and a half. And man, shout outs, kudos. What have we not asked of them? I mean, knock on wood, we haven't had a Mississippi flood up here for a long time. We don't need one because they're busy, they're tired, they're taking care of so much other stuff. But so yeah, let's think about that. Let's throw out a big thank you and a keep rolling and a what can we do to support attitude. And on that, I want to say that one of the best lines I've ever heard when you throw a thank you out there, or you don't know how to thank a veteran or a first responder, how about if you live a life that proves that you appreciate what they're doing for us? Let's do that for a while.
That's awesome, Andrea. That's a great message, and that is, I think, a message that we need to hear regularly. It's unfortunately we have to hear it regularly, but just how about live the life that's worth being saved? I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, you got our brothers and sisters all over the country right now, and I don't understand that 40 million number, if that's just related to one thing, because in our research we find that we're roughly 600 million first responder calls a year. That was just related to sure. So they're looking at COVID, like the one stuff. Yeah. Shit, I said it. Stuff. Excuse me, I said it. Hope there's no parents of children and they'll forget by Tuesday. Anyway, that was just in response to pretty much COVID healthcare. So look what they're doing. And then, and then the powers that be that can't get things done, right? They can't even do contact tracing, right? But yet our EMTs and our first responders, they've got, here's what you need, here's who called, when, where, and why. So, and our dispatchers anyway, we're going to get through it. And I think we're almost done. Let's just focus on that. Sun's coming up, and pretty soon we can go indoors and outdoors without all those Oscar worries. Mike, right? Oscar Mike. Oh, look, what nice segue into that. And again, we have Travis Partington here with us, Oscar Mike Radio. Tell us what you've been up to, brother. We see that you just highlighted one of our amazing In the Boats brothers with us, who's closely associated and has been working in close to us, Brian Gibson, this week with Project Die Hard. Tell us what else you've been working on.
Well, I've been doing that, and Brian has a great story with what he's trying to do with Ford Operating Rush in Kentucky. What I'm working on is, there's a lot of stories coming in from people who want to share. A lot of veterans doing their own business. A lot of veterans trying to advocate effectively for veterans. A lot of veterans trying to coach our fellow veterans up about what to do in the civilian world. So there's all kinds of cool stuff going on. Looking forward to, I got an event in Memphis for Brian Walker, the state commander of the VFW in Tennessee. He's doing his annual event in Memphis in early April. an event for Vet Dirty in May. And it's just really a very interesting way to see what fellow veterans are doing in their space for other people, and how veterans are taking the skills that they have learned in the military and continuing that pattern of service, who I think that we all kind of relate to, Mark.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For those who don't know, and we got to step into the People's Patriot Project a little bit here when we have this conversation. We have a flagship mission of what we want to do with having a one-stop shop facility for veterans and first responders. But we've been blessed with this other now side opportunity to create We Got Your 6 at 6, the Patriot Playtime podcast or radio show or whatever we got. And when we built this, we had no idea. And when I say that, that's important to know, because we had no idea all these other organizations existed. We had no idea Oscar Mack Radio existed. We had no idea that Forging Forward podcast existed. We didn't know any of this other stuff existed. And the reason why that becomes important is the ones that need the help, the ones that need the resources, didn't know it existed either, or doesn't know it existed either. So in hindsight, everyone says, Mark, why would you have another podcaster come on your show? Because of the relationship. That's why. And we'll get into that in a little bit here. Another piece of it, Mark, why would you have other on-the-ground organizations, that are fundraising on your site and on your page? Why? And I'm like, well, again, it's because of the relationship. And also, I know we got a lot of fishermen and fisherwomen out there in the world. And I know you don't walk down to the river with one hook on one pole and throw it in the water expecting to catch everything. Every angler, as we call them in Minnesota, carries this at least one or two gigantic suitcases of bait. And that bait comes in different forms as well. There are fish hooks, there's lures, there's spinners, there's jigs, there's shives, there's you name it. There's thousands and thousands of devices used to catch their trophy. Our trophy is our veterans and first responders that have fallen off and haven't come all the way home. And Travis Partington with Oscar Mike Radio and Brian Gibson with Project iHeart and Fob Rush are bait, or they're a tool inside of that box that is allowing us. I'm going to catch a sucker fish, and Travis is going to catch this amazing, huge trophy walleye. And that's just the way it's going to be. And because he's got that bait, he's got that opportunity, he's building those relationships. Brian Gibson is going to catch that sailfish because that's what he's fishing and hunting for. We can't do this together by ourselves. And that is what's been so exciting about calling and having these people come onto our show, is sharing what they're doing. And that's okay. And again, pre-show, me and Travis are having this conversation. I got to show you guys a picture real quick. And this is the picture that kind of sums it up for us. Last May, we had I can't even say he was a good friend. Last May, a musician invited us to come down to Nashville. I can say he wasn't a good friend then, but I can tell you right now, as he says it from his mouth, we are fam. Check out this fam. This is, and I'm sorry if you're in podcast world, you're not going to get and see this, but this is a picture of our family. We got Travis Partington, Andrea, we got Mr. Anderson, we've got Chris Turner, Danielle Rocco, myself, and I'm
Tina Hargett.
Tina's on there, and I can't remember our Marine brother in the back. I just reached out to him recently, but that was a one-time stop in. Let's take care of Chris Turner and his amazing mission of going out in the world and giving his craft. And boom, these relationships got built. And I value Is that Derek Iozio? I want to do a quick shout out to him. I know for sure he was on here earlier, but this might be another Facebook user out there just saying what a crew. Absolutely what a crew. And the amazing thing is the things that the rest of the world doesn't get to see is the behind the scenes conversations that happen weekly. With me and Travis, me and Danielle, Andrea's in the mix. Nikki will get in the mix here as well as soon as we learn and teach her who the real players are. It has been so exciting to build that relationship with Travis. And that was Derek Iozio on that one. And I can't tell people, I can't share with people how fun this has been. And this is where it gets into my selfish mission, because it's like, I'm not doing this for me, but I'm telling you what, I feel good doing it. I feel good doing it. I feel good being part of it. And I know that I've had those conversations in private with Andrea. I know I've had those conversations in private with you. And we're excited where this is going to go. And on top of that, these gigantic, amazing trophy fish of veterans and first responders that we're bringing into our network who get to celebrate life and celebrate that day that they chose not to end their life here on earth because we had an answer, we had a tool, we had an opportunity, an expression, or even a pat on the back for them. So I know I get on a little tangent every once in a while. That's my tangent for tonight. I'm done. Thank you. Drop the mic. Andrea, you're in charge of music, by the way. Did I share that one with you?
You did not share that with me. That's awesome. Let me take a look and see what. Are you just saying that because I laughed because you talked a lot?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did talk a lot. It's kind of funny because I talk a lot on here and I just kind of meander when we're in a crowd. Andrea Eichmann, if you see her in a crowd and you don't have time, turn around and go the other way. If you do have a few minutes, I'm totally joking.
Oh, you're just jealous.
Nice.
Okay. He's jealous.
That's right.
Just jelly.
So, tell us about you'd already shared kind of the Oscar Mike Radio mission. You shared where it came from and where the seed got planted in your heart with helping Marine children and in the mission there. What's next for Oscar Mike Radio?
So what's next is kind of things I've been doing, making the podcast. I mean, podcast is strictly audio. But there's more to it than that. Just making that connection with your guest and finding out how you can add value to what they're doing. But one of the things that, has been a real benefit of doing this is being connected and being able to really help veterans organizations. I'd like to talk about one here. I'm going to put the link in the chat real quick. Let me see if I get this right. Got it right. So back in 2016, I met a civilian woman who does equine assisted therapy for veterans. Her name is Julie Lovely, and she is the founder and CEO of Wild Hearts Therapeutic Equestrian Program. And I was able to use my show at the time to spread the word about what was going on, and people got aware of what was going on and wanted to support it financially or in terms of just seeing, hey, we can help you, shovel out manure or load hay bales or whatever. And then, in 2020, I became board president of that organization. And, a lot of civilians approach me, Mark, and say, well, I don't know how to help veterans. What can I do? And I'm like, Julie is an example of somebody who's taken what she has, this knowledge of horses and equine therapy and how to teach, and has been able to take that and enrich a veteran's life. When you go to a class and you watch what she's doing and the transformation of that veteran and just the idea of how the horse does that in a very I'm thinking it's going to be dress right, dress covered down. you suck, eat this, push, but with, not raising her voice at all, gets the horse and the veteran to help each other out. It's a powerful thing. It's a powerful thing. When she showed me some letters veterans wrote about the program and her involvement. And so I've been able to take what I do with Oscar Mike Radio and add value to what she is doing. And to your point earlier, we're talking about, casting the rod, hooking more fish, hooking more supporters, hooking veterans that, may be using negative coping skills and, self-destructive tendencies to get to a place where they feel safe and empowered to make change in their lives. And that's been one of the best parts of Oscar Mike Radio. And that's just one story of things that have happened for almost 6 years now. We're going on 6 years of the show. So it's really exciting.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And there may have been, and normally we keep these conversations for the post show and how we can collaborate, how we can work together more. We're just straight out going to put it out there because we've had the conversation. Travis even wrote up a contract for us to sit and have these conversations. But the People's Patriot Project is also blessed to have another offshoot of the media world called VP3 Radio. And we have actually talked to both Travis Partington and Danielle Rocco to see if they would be interested in being part of that broadcast system, and both of them have indicated that they're interested in that. And that's Nikki is on our staff now to help pull that all together and make sure that is going to be put in place.
Is this like a job interview, Mark? Am I being assessed right now to see how bad I am?
You're always being assessed. Always being assessed. No. Okay. No, I'm sharing to the world that this is how it's just one relationship after another that builds Absolutely. And grows and becomes something. And I feel that if you're listening and you're an organization sitting out there on an island by yourself, reach out to us. No one's going to be able to do this by themselves. We've heard people burn out on that. There's 40,000. Here's the mystery. There's 40,000 veteran supporting organizations out there. And 2 years ago, I couldn't have mentioned three. Well, I couldn't mention one, but whether they help or what they do, that's another piece altogether. But not here for that conversation. But I wouldn't have been able to tell you 6 or 10 organizations that were out there that were benefiting veterans and first responders. Now I can tell you 180. And I can tell you that we're trying to work closely together to make sure that we're spreading out across the country, making sure that nothing squirts out, squeaks out, and that our brothers and sisters know that we're here. That's the oxymoron to our graphic. Our logo is you can't hide our green in the camouflage. That's kind of, we attempted to do that, and you can't do it. You have to see it. And we need to see our brothers and sisters that went out there and signed that dotted line, did something a little bit extra than the other 94% of our country, and we're going to celebrate that. And so we're excited to have you, Travis, again in our network, again coming on and sharing your vision, your story. We want to talk about you, and the first thing you want to do is talk about Wild Hearts. And that's
it's a awesome. Layer. It's a layer. I hate onions, but we gotta peel back each layer. Well, it's from the podcaster show point of view, right? It's never really about me. It's about me, and I'm sure you all felt this, right? There's that aspect of trying to draw out that nugget in that person and to find out what and why they do. And I'm not really that interested, I don't think sometimes, but for some reason, here we are, and that's fine. That's fine. And so a lot of it is, I got to tell you, I enjoy this. There was a time where these were really technically difficult to do. They did not have the software or the hardware, 5-6 years ago to do all this stuff now. StreamYard didn't really exist when I first started, right? And so now we can collaborate like we're sitting together in a parking lot or in a barbecue somewhere talking. It's really amazing how this all works. And I'm like, if we try to do this through terrestrial radio or TV, we'd still be hauling cable. We wouldn't even be in the front
Sure.
door yet. But now we can take this, make it our own. You have your flavor. I have my flavor. Danielle and I, when we collaborate as Devoted Mission, has, our flavor. But I think it's what you said is the more we can get out there, the more we know, the better it's going to be. My real focus for 2022 is to really, be a mobile show. Now, I can take my podcasting equipment and set up anywhere, and I think I can put out a decent product. Doing a multicam show remotely is something that I'm trying to dial in. That's the technical side of it, but also, so there's an aspect of that, right? I've gotten some equipment, I'm working with it, and it's just like anything else. You got to get the reps in to do that. And then the second thing is, I want veterans to take action. I think.
Oh, that doesn't normally happen. Well, just make sure we have some communication. Oh, he's back. Well, we'll wait till Travis fully comes back on. Might have some. While we're doing that, I just want to do a quick shout out to Bobby Krutzinger and his amazing wife, who's there to support him. He is a non-veteran, non-first responder out there, and I'm going to tell the rest of the world you should all be ashamed. This man and wife team are getting it done. They have put out RV after RV after RV to accommodate homeless veterans. They are collecting clothes, they're collecting food, and they are not talking about it. They are 100% getting it done. And so I thank you, Bobby and Peggy. You guys are the leading force, and to be honest with you. No one's talking about it. 73 veterans so far with an RV. 73 veterans have received an RV to live in because of Bobby and Peggy. 73. Roughly right now, according to the numbers that are in the world, there are 40,000 homeless veterans in the country. And Bobby, you're embarrassing people. I'm sorry. He's done this in 6 months. That's 10 veterans a month. That's 10 veterans a month. You caught me on a rant, Travis. I
don't know what happened, guys. Sorry about
Gave
that.
him a second.
You're good, brother. We have Bobby Krutzinger and his wife chiming in right here. And I don't know if you've heard about this amazing mission. Earlier, you were highlighting an organization that is a non-veteran, non-first responder, civilian. We'll call them civilian, running a mission. These guys have given away 73 RVs in the last 6 months for 73 homeless vets in the state of Texas, and they're crushing it. And so, if you want to see someone that's getting it done, check out Bobby and his wife down in Texas, and that's golden. Do you remember the thoughts you were on, Brother Partington?
Oh, yeah. So, there's all these veterans doing these amazing things, and there's still this side of the house that wants to raise awareness. My thing is, I think we're done with the awareness raising. I think we need to see some action. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not saying that awareness is a bad thing, but I don't think anybody in the military now or in the VA system or nonprofit space understands that there is a underlying problem with veteran suicide, or there's veterans that need housing, right? So what I want to see and start highlighting is empowering those organizations that are actually doing something. And the thing is, Andrea and Mark and Nikki, is there's a lot of orgs doing this stuff, and I get it. You don't want to necessarily do this for the props or the recognition, so on and so forth. But people can't engage with you and reach out to you if you're not, telling people what you're doing or being willing to ask for some help when you need it. So that's kind of what I want to really focus on the non-technical side for Oscar Mike Radio, is highlighting an organization that's doing something, telling their story in a real authentic way, and then getting them to, you know, have people engage with them.
And I totally agree with you. I'm stuck a little bit on Bobby and
all right, while I'm doing that, my buddy Jason Ray. No, my buddy Jason Ray just checked in. Can I prop him real quick?
Absolutely.
All right. So I'm gonna drop another link in the chat. Let me see if I can do two things at one time.
While he's doing this, I did forget to mention Bobby's organization, Operation Texas Strong. And again, Bobby's so awesome. The first thing he wants to do is drop Derek Iozio's organization, Catch 22. And these are all people in our network. And Travis has some settings that aren't letting us see that. It's coming directly from him. But Rucking for Veterans, tell us about it, Travis.
Oh, which chat do you want me to put in? Let me try that chat.
That's good. You're good.
So Jason Ray, Rucking for Veterans, is an example of this, right? So you have an Army veteran who likes to ruck after the military, which is like, okay, I'll do it, but I don't necessarily like it. But he liked to do it. And then he figured out, well, I like to do this so much, I want to try using this to raise money for other orgs. And so what he did in 2020 was he did a hike on Veterans Day and raised some money, and with like 10 people. This year, because I was covering it with my camera and everything, there were over 70 humpers, hikers, ruckers, whatever you want to call them, in the town of New Bedford, and they hiked 22 miles on Veterans Day. It was a beautiful day, perfect weather, and they were able to exponentially increase the amount of support they were able to do. And this is the kind of thing, Mark, Andrew, Nikki, that I absolutely love getting all over. I'll take my recorder and my camera and my gimbal down there and ask questions and create a story to tell that, because who would ever think that putting a pack on and walking for 22 miles could actually do financial good? Because I can tell you honestly, for me, I got to be pretty motivated to do that now. I did enough of that in the Corps to last me a lifetime. But these people come together, and they're not alone on Veterans Day. They're not sitting there, thinking about negative things. And yeah, all of us lost people that we knew when we were serving. I lost Marines that I served with, and I thought it was really impactful to be out there and doing something on Veterans Day than sitting in my place working or alone. And these are the kind of things that I want to do in terms of just not only telling your story on a podcast or show, but also collaborating with you and possibly connecting you with people like the People's Patriot Project. Because yeah, I'm in New England and you're in Minnesota, but we're like on the same wavelength right now. And that wavelength's pretty short, and we can take that and make it powerful and change for people.
This is
100% agree with everything. Yeah.
Absolutely. This is right where, when we say we're family, and I think this is the common bond, is that there's no selfishness in this. None at all.
No.
Travis has
everyone knows
things, and we've done things, and Nikki comes to us with great ideas, and every other group, the Krutzingers, nice job. Thank you. How simple would it be to do what they do? And so, Eric O was on here earlier. I don't know who this one might be. Can't wait for next year, but that's exactly what I said to Eric Olegsager, because we'll be heading down there in April, and his mission is not like ours at all. And we want to support him because it's another way to reach people. And so family, I love my blood family, and these people have come to be just about that close. So love it. Love it. Love it.
And for me, it was, I could have been in a part of my life where I just, withdrew and believe that, the world's a pretty dark, really hard place, which it is. Or I can try to do something to kind of claw out of that mindset. And I met people who, are fighting their battles, and, you find out that whole little term "stronger together" actually means something. And then, for me, meeting Danielle like I did, and it's never a bad time, right? But you start meeting people who really have your back, and really
tell me how that relationship did happen. I mean,
oh, you want to know about that? All right,
yeah.
all right. Oh, this is going to be good. You're going to love this. So, Andrew Farr in Tennessee, I had him on my show.
Yep.
And I became friends afterwards. Great story there, fantastic story there. And what Andrew will do still to this day is he'd be like, "Hey, I want you to talk to this person on Facebook Messenger." I'm like, "Okay, no problem. If Andrew says to talk to him, I'll talk to him, no problem." And it was Danielle Rocco, and she was up in New Hampshire, which is just north of where I was. And so we agreed to meet in Boston for me to record her. And we met at Post Office Square Park in Boston, right outside. And that was when I was first in 2019, really starting to incorporate video into the show. So I one of the first video shows I did, and she had a good time, and we kept in touch. And then we go to the IW hike in Nashville, and Danielle hits me up and says, "Hey, we could do like a co thing together if you want to." I'm like, I wasn't really planning to do that, Danielle. I'm kind of all set, and I'm all good. No. Get your suit out, get it pressed. Bring your stuff. Let's do something together. And I'm like, oh, here we go. And so we get on the plane, and Danielle is a love/relationship coach. And well, one of the funny things is that I know that irritates her and annoys her, and I love doing it, is I'll tell her I don't believe in love. I'll tell her, Danielle, love's just a bunch of brain chemicals, electrical synapses and pulses. It's not really a hormonal, driven things. It's not Love's not real. And science proves that love's not real. Well, I shouldn't have done that on the way to Nashville, because she had the entire plane ride to work on me. But the thing is we started developing this rapport where we would go and do an event, like a veterans event, and MC it or promote it. And, it's really weird. We work together extremely well. There are things that she does much better than me. There's some things that, we balance each other out for. So it works. And then, May for the Bold Patriot event was the launch of the Freedom Tour for Chris Turner, which is how we met. And we had just done the golf tournament the day before. We were going to, see Chris Turner's event the next day. And we're like, okay, this is going to be great. And then, we're there, and Chris is like, "Hey, there's Mark and Andrea from the People's Patriot Project." And that's how it all happened. But that's how it works with Danielle and I now. Yeah.
It's awesome. I think we need to commit, and I don't know what we need to do, if we need to buy him a hat or what, but we need to just call Andrew Farr the Godfather, because he really is the pot stirrer when it comes to getting conversations going. And what the guy's doing in Tennessee is amazing. Redeveloping, reformulating the world of the VFW and Legion world, and just the amount of people he's bringing into that network. And the guy's on fire. And I don't think the guy ever sleeps, to be honest with you. Every time I turn around, he's on Facebook.
He is Oscar Mike.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely on the move. 100%. And I think we call him the Godfather, and I think we can make that stick if enough of us commit to calling Andrew Farr the Godfather of. I think it's funny, and it'll be good, and he'll get it too. But I'm loving the conversations that are happening on the side here. Robert, thank you for being here, brother. Great supporter. Hope you're feeling better, brother. We haven't even dropped a song yet, Miss Eichmann.
We have not, and I've been just, studying our catalog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got? What are we gonna roll with?
Well, here's something I came up with. This one's a little bit longer though. Wait, let's change it. Here is one. Well, shoot, I wanted to do snow.
Nothing like no transition time.
I know, so you caught me off guard because I had and we're talking about Chris. Let's do a Chris.
somewhere between Gallup and Winslow on an old stretch of Route 66. At the end of his rope, looking for hope, but he found this old bar here instead. The neon was dusty, the door hinges rusty, on the window a handwritten sign. Between the Paps and the Coors and the two swinging doors, faded words, but he read them just fine. If you cheat, hope it's death that you're cheating. If you lie, lie with someone you love. If you fight, do it for the right reason. If you drink, then come drink one with us. The whole place was packed. The waitress waved him on back, set him up on the last stool. She said, man, I can tell you've been going through hell. Well, we've all come out of there too, and we live by our own golden rule. If you cheat, hope it's death that you're cheating. If you lie, lie with someone you love. If you fight, do it for the right reasons. If you drink, then come drink one with us. All we can do is the best that we can. So we're all sinners, forgivers, and friends. If you cheat, hope it's death that you're cheating. If you lie, lie with someone you love. If you fight, do it for the right reasons. If you drink, then come drink one with us. If you drink, then come drink one with us. Drink one with us.
Yes. I've never ended a video before. I didn't know how to do that. Woo, woo, woo.
All right. Well, speaking of musicians, if I may, you know, we've been talking about it before the show and earlier, but I really want you to talk with Richard Fitz Jr. He's an amazing story. First of all, he's an amazing musician. You know, he plays my kind of music. I'm a rock and roller. I'm a heavy metal guy. You know, and it can't be too loud, but he's a talented musician. But the story was his father was a MACV SAW Green Beret who got killed in Laos in Vietnam. And the U.S. government wouldn't tell them what happened. It took them 21 years for them to get closure. And this is one of the things I'm talking about with Oscar Mike Ria that got to be a part of, is when I talked with him, he was just getting ready to release 21 Years of Folded Flag, which is the story he made about his father's service and his experience. And when he showed me the beta, launch of the movie, there's a scene that he was working real hard in it. And it's his father. And it just stopped me cold. I mean, it sent chills up and down my spine to understand, that Richard never got some of the experiences people got because of his father's service, and how now, I mean, God forbid your son or daughter or father or mother fall in service, you're given much more support than you were for the Vietnam. And it shows a very different America than it is now. It's a really powerful film, and not only can he speak very eloquently about this and tell it in a way that I can't, the guy can absolutely shred on the guitar in a way that just because this is like my kind of music, and he can freaking play it, and it's amazing. So I hope we can work that out. And Richard, if you're watching this, yes, I want to get you on here and kind of change it up a little bit. And nothing wrong with country music, even though I don't know who Jason. It's funny. One of the things is Danielle and I are doing this thing, and Michelle Baxter, I don't know if you guys know her, says, "Hey, you're gonna get to meet Jason Aldean's dad." And I'm chatting with Danielle over the phone, and I'm like, on the messenger, I'm like, "Who's Jason Aldean?" I don't know who these guys are.
You're right.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Well, I got in real big trouble on Michelle's, list when I said I don't know who Luke Bryan is either. I'm like, what's that? So it's nice having some of my music on there, and
for sure, 100%. And you know what? We've had all kinds of artists on here. Every genre. We even have an opera singer who just phenomenal. But we have a screamer that comes on. Ray Charles. Oddly enough, his name's Ray Charles.
Raymond. He goes like Raymond.
Not the one that we have known formerly as Ray Charles, but and it's not my kind of music. But here we go back to the conversation we had earlier. It is someone's kind of music. And if we can use that as a lure to pull people and to say, hey, look, listen to this guy sing this style and sing this, then it's one more opportunity, one more door we don't have to kick in because it's already open and people can walk in and listen to that opportunity. And we really stay tuned. There's another offshoot of the People's Patriot Project that is coming soon. It may be called Operation Cadence or something like that, but it is a music management organization that is giving our musicians the opportunity and chance and the freedoms to go play and loosen up some of the constraints that they may have. I had just this most amazing proud papa moment. Those who followed us know that we had an event October 22nd, October 23rd this year, Come Out of the Storm, and our Ruck March, segue off of Travis's conversation about the Ruck March. And we had 6 musicians from across the country. I say across the country because it was meant to be across the country, but most of them came from Texas and did not like Minnesota weather. And that's okay too. But they all got together this last week and made 3 songs together in a collaboration. And even while we're listening to Chris Turner there, I mean, you will never get to see me do it. I get a little smoke inhalation just saying, we've watched this from the beginning and we're going to continue to watch it. It's growing. It's fun. These are my friends. These are my family. I will go to this constantly and know that this was one of the most memorable, greatest experiences of my life is putting these people into a conversation and knowing that we are selflessly going out and helping veterans and first responders. And so what a blessing this is. And my goodness, our time this hour has just slipped on by one more freaking time.
Tom flies when you're having fun. I've been having a blast. It's really cool to be on the other side of the mic, if you will. And you guys have done a fantastic job making me feel comfortable. Really appreciate it. I got to give a shout out if I can to
please do
to Elena Madden, Marine Corps veteran, and she makes flags. Now this is what I'm trying to tell people. You can take anything you do and add value to something, and get enjoyment out of that. She started making flags to raise money. And so you pay for the flag and, she makes it for you. And then you can either, she takes the money she gets from that and donates it to things like Tough Ruck or Rucking for Veterans or other things that she's done. And the funny thing was she made a flag for me. I'm a hawker. So she put this missile on the flag and another hawker's like, I want that flag. So she gave my flag to the guy and said, "I'll make you another one." But I'm like, that was my first flag. But it was just something that she decided to do and have fun with, and you can see her get better. And to your point, when you watch these veterans take what they have and improve themselves, it's really cool. And I'll just end with this, everyone. When you start a podcast, whether it's for veterans or kitty cats or gophers, whatever you do, you got to do it for the right reason. You got to do it because you love doing it, because you want to perfect your craft. But an Army veteran told me that I interviewed, he's like, if you take your show and just use it to add value to people, you'll never have a bad show. And when I quit worrying about the number of downloads I had or number of views I had, and just worried about the number one, that's the person talking with me, this really became it's work, it's effort, it's a lot of work sometimes, but it doesn't feel like it. And I've been doing this for almost 6 years. I still love it, just like I did the first time I got behind the mic. So I hope for another 6 years of fun and getting to meet people like you. And I can't wait to meet in person. That'd be a good goal for this year.
Yeah, well, that it will happen, and it'll be like a big old bears wrestling in the middle of a dance floor. I can imagine what that's going to look like, because I'm going to hug you, and I'm not. So this is the funny part: is this has changed my life. This whole thing has changed my life. There's people that see me in the crowd and do not want to hang out with me for a number of reasons. I may put off this persona of not a very pleasurable, outreaching kind of person. I'm kind of stoic. I'm focused. I have enjoyed putting my paws on everyone that we've built a relationship, and it's become a joke, but it's more than a joke, and it's a new life for me. And again, it's just been an absolute blessing having you on here today, Travis. Again, it's been growing since we met in May, and we're excited about it. The Crud Singers are asking, they need more exposure. We're going to get you going, guys. Just bear with us and work with us. You get those RVs and we will fill them. I promise you. You take care of that, and you let us worry about the exposure pieces. We'll get you taken care of, brothers and sisters. I do want to real quick, Elena Madden, and that's another person we want to reach out to. She's with Simplify Designs, and that's a weird piece is we're working with someone real closely right now who has another organization called Simplify Designs. They're a web page design company, and we'll get everyone in the same boat. We'll work those pieces out. Bobby is telling me he's got 120 RVs on the ground. He's filled 76. So that gives us 50. We'll get them filled up. 300 in Colorado. My goodness, we've already done a show for you guys, for Pete's sake.
Let's do an ad. We need to do them we'll get them on the radio too with their ad.
Let's get someone.
Oh shoot! I just put Nikki. I just gave her another job.
Let's find. We got to get a video ad ready, and we need to find that person right now. If there's anyone out there that has the ability to create video graphics and video opportunities, we have several projects that we're in the works right now. Remember, the People's Patriot Project is an opportunity. You got a song ready for us to go and close on, Andrea? Mm-hmm. Good. Not everyone's meant to run into burning buildings. We don't expect everyone to do that. That's not your job. It's not what you're trained to do. Not everyone's meant to hold the hand of someone taking their last breath out on the highway. For whatever reason, that piece has happened. There are people that are built for that. Okay, that's why your first responders are there. That is why our military veteran and enlisted people are there. They're built for that. That's what they're about. This is, again, we're not trying to steal or take away from anyone, but remember, not everyone knew what they're signing up for when they got into these things. I know that's a common phrase that gets put out there. I had no idea I'd sit in the cold for 2 months, not being able to feel my hands and feet and wishing, what the hell did I ever plan to do this? Why am I doing this? That was a learning experience for me. And we can keep going on here. The People's Patriot Project is an opportunity for you to serve. It's for those who've never had the chance to serve for whatever reasons. We're here for those who need a place to continue to serve. If you know anyone that needs help, please reach out to us. You are part of that equation. If you are seeing, I'm putting myself out there. I just watched one of my best friends, best man at my wedding. I was his best man at his wedding. I literally just watched him die because I had an axe to grind with him, and I didn't take the next step that needed to be taken to make sure that didn't happen. Do your buddy checks. Reach out to everyone. The ones that you think are strong are the ones that you need to be reaching out to as well. We are here for you. We are with you. Patriot Pride.
Patriot Pride. Thank you so much.
For sure. Catch.
Hold on.